Welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. I am joined by Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor.
Hey, here's the 502nd episode. You can't really see it. There you go.
All right. Ooh.
I'm going to do this every week. Yeah, it's getting rough, but we're going to keep doing it.
I love it. Hold on. It's playing in my ears. Okay. Sorry, everybody. The YouTube video started playing, and I was like, the fuck is that?
Anyway. Very good.
Okay, before we jump into season 23, episode 8, Nightmares in Drill City, I want to start with the hotline for anybody who needs it. If you are in need of assistance, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. That spells hope. You don't need to do it. I got you.
Thanks. I was a little distracted for a sec.
I'm aware. Oh, yeah. It's totally fine. Again, that is the hotline for RAINN. I want to stress before we get into this episode that if you have been assaulted or need help, they're there for you, and we highly recommend reaching out to them. The reason I'm stressing that is because that might be the only serious thing that happens in the next however long, because this show does not do serious. I guess we talk about serious issues. When it gets dark, we go light. And this episode is going to get a lot of terrible things out of our mouths. And so we did our important thing, and now we can talk about Nightmares in Drill City. I think I speak for our whole panel when we say this was not an episode we liked.
It was not it. It was an episode of TV. That's what I'll say about it.
I wouldn't even, I'm not sure I would even say that. This was, I would say, this was, I was bored for a lot of this episode. The direction was great. I'm going to give it to that. Norberto Barba directed this episode. I think having to direct TV and music videos in the TV, and that those music videos have to be kind of special, right? Because like, there was a point about how a kid, Chris, wanted to be a filmmaker. And so like, that means that these music videos can't be like just garbage. So, go direction.
Here's
trying to find
thing.
a positive.
This episode had so much potential. When you have these music videos, like that's camp. Like that is just everything that I want. I love like a bad music video, a bad DJ dessert. Like, come on. Like, I love that. But, like, what? Like, first of all, like, I'm going to say this. Like, why did we focus on Tori? Why was this Tori's story? It shouldn't have been. She was the last person that should have been the protagonist of this episode. And I say that, and I love this actress. She was on a show called Dare Me that I loved, and she was great in that. And she's good in this episode, too. But, like, why are we focusing on her for this? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I agreed so much. I would have preferred this episode to be about Jasmine. I think that would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Tori was a weird choice to focus on. I think, and I think this might be all I have to say about this. The way that this episode addressed race felt very odd, seeing as how, and I'm going by IMDb, none of the writers of this episode were Black. So it seemed to come from a place of, I don't want to say ignorance, but it came from a place of not lived experience.
Yeah, and even like some of the lines, like when Carisi's like, yeah, we don't ruin kids' lives for having a joint anymore. Yes, you literally do. What are you talking about? Like, that is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because that absolutely still happens all the time. Like, it felt so tone deaf. I'm sorry, but that was just like, I was like, you're wrong.
Let's talk tone deaf. Jails are chock full of sad stories, and nobody gives a damn. You know who should give a damn? Your fucking office. You are the people who should give a damn.
was like, okay, I was just like, what's the message? Like, I get it. Like, this is an interesting point to raise, but like, this was not the way to raise it. Like, having her be the one that he has to fight for, that doesn't make sense. Even her character did not check out for me. How is your mom knowing none of this? I'm so sorry. I get she works, she cleans. What was she even in here for? Like, she added nothing, and it didn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Tori I wrote in my notes, she seems opportunistic. Like this girl, and I thought that's where we were going, which would have been so much more interesting if it turned out to be that she had been the puppet master manipulating all of this from the beginning, because she, right, like her entire story, her motivation on everything was boredom. She was like, I was bored, so I went and smoked pot. And then I was bored, so I joined this crew. And then I was bored, so I was like, why don't we go steal from this guy? And now that that's over, she's like, I'm bored. She literally says, I'm bored. And then Benson is like, I wrote it, you violated your probation. Do you know what that means? That means you go to jail. Why did she get a third chance?
I'm just like, they try to do like both things, and you can't. Not in a 40-minute episode that you like don't have enough nuance to do that. Like if this was a movie, maybe you could have enough like nuance to be like, okay, she was a victim, but she also like made these choices because she was bored, all this stuff. But like, she just doesn't make sense as a character right now to me at all. Like either, you go the way that she's like taking advantage of these people, or you go the way that she's a victim and she realizes that she is at the end. But like, there's just too much trying to happen with her. And like, why do I care? Like, I feel very bad about what happened to her. Like, yes, but like, why do I care? I cared so much more about the other people in this. Like, she was the most bland person to follow.
Sarah in the chat, Sarah Puala, hello, welcome. Joining us, says, I agree with you both. It didn't feel right. I mean, you 100% can be a victim and a bad guy, and
right.
We've seen episodes that talk about like the cycle of abuse, and I think that was interesting when it came to like Jasmine's story, was that she realized the way to get the abuse to stop was to bring other people in, and that's interesting. But Tori was just there, she was just bored. Her motivation was boredom, was to fill her time, especially because
that's a weird motivation from a writing perspective. That doesn't make sense.
I think that makes sense if then it turns out that she's the puppet master, that she's the Lily Reinhardt in that episode, right?
Exactly.
Like then it's interesting.
And that's what I kind of thought we were going to get at the end there. Because whenever we have those, like, scenes tacked on, it happens, like, every, like, couple episodes, like, every season, where Benson's like, okay, and then she has, like, the talk. But, like, she didn't reconcile anything. Like, she was just like, yeah, kind of miss it, TBH. Okay. Like, do I care? No, not really. Sorry, bestie. Don't really care.
Yeah.
Go to your fucking counseling. Oh, sorry, I just cussed, but whatever. Go to your fucking counseling.
We've been cussing the whole time. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. I don't usually, though. I'm usually the...
I see.
Anyway. Whatever. This episode...
Yeah, this episode brought that up. There isn't much more to say about that, so let's move on. I want to talk about this Velasco Finn situation where they're like bonding and shit. Because here's Velasco's story. Finn says, we agreed that she got turned out, right? Like we all agree, yes, this girl was trafficked. But once she got a taste for that life, she enjoyed it. She stayed. She got a taste, and there are parts that she was like, I will put up with this because I like this. And I kind of find that interesting if we were going to like deal with that, but that's not what we dealt with. And then we get some more backstory on Velasco. And here's where I got confused. So his story is that he was running with these kids and he lured a guy in to be attacked. And then, he got caught up in it and he decided that if the guy lived, that Velasco would only do good. And so he got away with it and kept his promise and got out. let's back up to the fact that this guy was a pedophile. Are we glossing over the fact that you lured a pedophile into like vigilante justice, which was also about stealing his stash? But like,
yeah, we
we're
sure
glossing,
did.
We're glossing over that.
We sure did do that. It's exactly what we did, actually. Yeah, I was like, okay, it felt like a very convenient backstory to fit in with this episode, and not actually like it would be part of this character.
You know what though? But it didn't feel like it fit. Like I was like, what does this have to do with anything?
Right. I guess it was like, oh, second chances. Like maybe she'll do. But Tori's not doing good now. She's just vaping and skipping counseling.
Right.
So what's the point?
That's what I'm saying. Is the end of the episode, she should have ended up in jail because she broke her probation.
Or being like, oh, I'm gonna help traffic girls. Sure, go that way. But like, it didn't happen. Nothing changed. She didn't change from beginning to end. That's the problem. When you write something, the person has to change from beginning to end, even in a small way. This girl did not change.
She did. She got shot, and now I assume she walks with a limp. Change.
Okay, well that's it. No, emotionally, she's the same.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and then Finn was like, I did my share of dirt back in the day, trying to balance the scale myself. Go on, Finn. Tell me more. Let's talk about that.
No, we'll never get more Finn talking. God forbid.
This episode, honestly, this whole rapper feud thing reminded me of Diss.
Oh yeah, and we'll talk about Diss as well a little later when we get to the poll.
But I was like, that one also. I was like, this is dumb.
I love it. It's like so ridiculous. Like I love a good like YouTube Diss channel. Wonderful. Why don't we lean into that? Why do we focus on Tori? Why do we focus on the drill songs or whatever?
You put that in the title. I wanted more information. I'm sorry. Having Ice-T go, let me explain the history of this rap or this music. And then that being it, I was like, what a waste.
Like, that's fine, but give me more of that.
I also think, there's a moment where in the courthouse we see a reporter and she says, is she a thrill-seeking teen or a sex trafficking victim feared for her life? Which is like the question of the episode. You know, we don't have an answer.
Yeah, because I guess she's both, but did I get that?
I mean, she's both, but she's also neither. Like
Exactly.
And even if like that was the case, right? Even if that was the discussion, was like, how do we balance these two parts of this girl? That would have been more interesting.
Yeah, but it was the classic case of like trying to do too much, and then therefore not doing anything enough.
I think, yeah, but even the ones that do too much sometimes will be like.
Because this wasn't fun. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. This was not fun because they tried to make all these like crazy elements in it, and then they brought up a serious issue, which is a problem that they do sometimes, where it's not an issue that you joke about. Like, it's all about like the optics of it, and I get that that's an important issue, but then you need to build an episode around that instead of this like, oh, white girl. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. This should not have been the first case to do that. Like, I don't know. Like we should have even had McGrath being like, oh yeah, let's get her off, and then focus on that part about how everyone's trying to get her off, even though she actually did kind of kill 3 people, sort of. Like, it doesn't make sense that they're like, oh yeah, prosecutors. No, that wouldn't probably happen. Like, even for the optics.
Mr. Big Rose 11 in the chat says the episode is a story of a rich religious white girl gone wild now. I mean, to just clarify, this girl, I believe, was specifically a poor daughter of immigrants. I just want to clarify that minor detail, but otherwise, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It just didn't make sense all the way to me. Like, anything about it. It just felt a little bit jumbled and therefore frustrating.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't think that any points were no point was made.
That's the thing. It was just almost like exploitative, because it was like, oh yeah, like, so what's the message then? At the end of the day, you're just, what was the point of it all? I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, we have. All right, we're gonna keep going. Let's talk about Carisi's job, his behavior, whatever the hell that was.
Okay.
Look, I was looking
Okay.
for more information about stuff, and I found some review about this episode. And I'm gonna say this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, my law degree is 22 seasons of SVU, so it's not necessarily the most accurate. But um, I was reading that he is the dedicated SVU ADA. So why would he be working in the homicide department now? And I personally think that that is to set up the next episode. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I think that's why they leaned that way. But it just didn't make sense to me. So he's trying to impress these people who also I was like, who are these people? And then we literally see him bully a sex trafficking victim. And I was like, man, Buchanan would be so proud. I really wanted Buchanan to show up and be like, if you want to leave the DA's office, you could join our team. Like, I really thought that would be so good.
Yeah, he was vicious.
Mm.
Yeah, but then he paid absolutely no repercussions for that, except for Amanda saying that she was sad at him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No one was actually held accountable, I feel like, in this episode. Maybe that's the reason. Not a single person actually was held accountable for that.
I think G went to jail. Like, I think because we didn't even see his trial.
Yeah, gun at 18. What's going on with him?
I think that David Graham, I believe.
Yeah, but you mean gun at 18.
I mean, David Graham went to jail because I love that he was like, yup, I'm not denying this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he did too, but I just, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm looking through my notes. Is there anything else I wanted to actually touch upon? Oh, I gotta say this. A couple of things. The decision to have our team realize if Tori was trafficked, then Jasmine must have also been trafficked. Let's talk to her and corroborate the story. That I think I just have to call out. Like, there's been previous episodes where I think I pointed this out. And so I appreciate that the writers went, oh, wait, if this girl's trafficked, this other girl also is probably trafficked. So thank you. Because if they hadn't done that, then I think we would have been even more angry about this episode. Mm-hmm. So I just want that noted on the record. All right. Let's move on. So I see we have a lot of new people joining our chat, which I think is so wonderful. Welcome to join our chat.
Is anyone disagreeing? Because I want to hear other opinions as well. Okay.
No.
Because I'm like, tell me if you disagree. I want to hear the other side of it too.
That's true.
But as of right now, like, if anyone liked this and can make some points, like, I'm open to hearing it. I just feel like it was handled a little.
Speaking of hearing from everyone else, we here on S Review always love to hear from people. So you can always comment on our videos, and you can rate us and review us on iTunes. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. If you do not like us, you can give us 4 stars. The other buttons are broken still. I've contacted them and they are just ignoring us.
It's
but
just so frustrating.
If you give us 4 stars, you must leave a comment about what we are doing wrong and where we can improve. I will also say we got a new rating of 5 stars. There is no comment, so I have nothing to read out, but thank you to whoever left us 5 stars. On iTunes, we're also, of course, here on YouTube live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and you can now watch us on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can see what we look like. Yeah.
You'll want to do that. Pretty sexy.
Girl, don't lie to people.
What? That's not a lie. That's truth.
All right. So
Yael's sexy, at least.
I mean, you and Felicia are the attraction. I just
This
navigate.
is your show.
Thanks. All right. For those who are new and haven't seen our show before, we're going to now switch into our next segment, Best Lines. Some of the episodes have great lines that make us laugh or make us feel. So now it's time for Best Lines. Here's what I'll say. I had one.
Your favorite line was the dun at the end when it was over. Executive producer Dick Wolf. That wasn't me. I'm so sorry, but I'm not actually sorry.
That was actually very mean.
That was pretty rude. I'm just joking. I was joking. It's all for laughs.
I'm literally looking through my notes, and it's your turn. Best lines.
Okay. These kids are clout chasing. I love these kids are clout chasing. They want to be famous so bad they're doing our job for us. That's true. Like that. The fact that they were had the weapons in the music video, I was like, that's a choice, that's for sure. Just didn't think you'd fall for that white girl magic is all. I was like, call him out. I love that, Jasmine, as you should. I did like sometimes justice is about compassion. I think that's like a genuinely good line because it's true. And then finally, when she was vaping and said, "This is the only bad thing I do now." I said, "I don't believe that," but
I mean, I believe that at this moment, yes.
Yeah. But I just love, like, she was sucking on the vape the whole time, and I did actually really like that choice. It's just like added a whole other layer to everything. She just vaping. She just dueling with Olivia Benson. Honestly, goals. I'd love to be dueling with Olivia Benson.
JNCA says, I read that Ice improv that line. Which line?
Want to be famous about it doing her job for us? Or these kids
no, Ice-T ad-libbed about the rappers on YouTube.
Right. These kids are flap chasing?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe? I don't know, but yeah, he had some good singers when they were watching.
Nice. Yes, that line about them doing the job for us.
Yeah, that's good. That's Ice-T. Look at you.
I mean, I believe it. That makes sense.
I do too. He's just so good at those like little Ice-T-isms.
Yeah. I have no lines to add to this.
Okay.
Which I think is sad. That's bad. That's not a good sign.
Their rap, just their whole rap was pretty good.
Yes, I like that. I also want to remind people, this is, I don't have a segue for it. But we here make stupid merch sometimes. And so I want to give a little, I want to share something. Because our friend Kim, surprise, bought some Justice for Snowball swag, including a t-shirt and the sticker. Justice
obsessed.
For Snowball.
I am obsessed.
If you would like to buy yourself a Justice for Snowball piece of clothing or sticker or whatever, you can do so at a link in our description below. For those who have no idea what we're talking about, please go and rewatch Born Psychopath.
Yeah.
How dare you?
R.I.P. dude. This is the saddest death that's ever rocked this television show.
Somebody said that Dodd's death was the most devastating, and I said Snowball.
That's incorrect. You tried.
Baby Dodd's death was heartbreaking, but nothing devastating.
Pales in comparison to Snowball.
We also have other ridiculous swag there. And as a reminder, we are selling that for fun and not because it makes us money. Because so far we've made, I think, at most $1. And that is me rounding up from 50 cents.
And we split that between the three of us, baby. Eating good tonight.
Yeah. This episode doesn't seem to be ripped from a headline, but I will say this. The episode that we did last week apparently has a second potential rip from the headline. They'd all disappeared, and we talked a little bit about the choke and stroke killer. And it seems that also the pig farmer killer was an inspiration. I don't have time to do that research, so
great. You do it.
You're welcome. Yeah, we are not a true crime podcast. We just will let you know if we think that it is ripped from a headline. Done, done. All right.
So true.
I'm trying to think if there's other things I need to tell everybody before we continue with our show. Let's talk a little bit about this Carisi over in homicide thing, because somebody said something interesting in the chat that I think is fascinating. So I'm going to find that. JNCA says that Carisi might be over in that doing homicide because they're moving him to another show. Maybe he's going to OC or the OG. That's right. The mothership is returning.
Oh, that would actually make sense.
But I don't think that is the case. I think that the reason they're moving him over is specifically because the next episode of SVU is specifically a 2-hour crossover dealing with the organized crime season 1 villain of Richard Wheatley. And I think that is why they moved him there, was so that he could be the one taking on this case. And if you saw the promo for the next episode, it's because Barba will be defending Richard Wheatley.
Enemies to lovers, baby.
Yes.
Rivals to lovers? It'd be rivals to lovers.
It's lovers to lovers, everybody.
Lovers to, you're right. But you can have that trope. If they're on different teams, woo!
JNCAS, it makes sense that he would be prosecuting. Where's the lady from OC? Who's the lawyer? On vacation? Organized crime doesn't have a lawyer on their show. They don't get, this is going to be the first trial, right? Because they don't have a lawyer person designated.
You get that crime organized. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah.
For those who are watching SVU and not organized crime, I am watching organized crime for our show so that we do not have to. I'm going to let you know luckily, there have been weeks of you not having to. Next episode is a big, big crossover, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of me giving context on this show.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. And I want everyone to know I am taking one for the team.
Yeah.
I want it on the record that I'm not enjoying it.
I know you are.
Yeah.
We're grateful.
But I will say the second season of Organized Crime is so much better than the first. And this week's episode really felt like a season finale, and I think they should just call it a day at 8 episodes and move on. Who knows what they're doing? It's not our show. Yeah. Oh, Sarah wants you all to know the only thing that matters is Stabler lost his beard on Organized Crime.
Oh, I did see that. That was a big scandal.
I was going to text Felicia.
Are you team beard or are you team no beard? That's honestly, where the actual war comes in.
I don't mind the beard. I don't mind it on him. Especially because his look this season has been the bald head with the beard and then a long sleeve fitted tight shirt that shows off his body and a vest over it. And I'm like, ooh, I kind of like this look, especially because it would look so good on a woman.
Okay, now you have my interest peaked.
Right?
And then I said, huh?
I love this. Aaliyah says, thank you, Yael, for your service. You're welcome. Alice is our hero. Thanks, everybody.
Salute.
Ooh, Adrio says, team no beard. Felicia agrees.
Okay, interesting.
All right, let's get into our weekly poll. We do a poll here every week. Taylor, take it away.
Yeah, we sure do. So we asked everyone last week what your favorite episode with a quote-unquote vampire was. Great poll. This was really close, actually. We had a tie for, in last place is other with 5%. Nobody commented what the other was, so we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist, I guess. So I guess a tie for second place, we have Control, which is season 5, episode 9, and PC, which is season 11, episode 13, which I love. And then in first place was the one we watched last week with the mummification DIY situation.
Yes.
That's what they actually called it in that episode. I wasn't just making that up. What a time. And then we are asking everyone this week and we honestly might have already had this poll, but it was just, we had to ask it again, even if we did.
I don't think we have.
We might have had like with a real life rapper maybe.
Yes.
These are all fake rappers. Some of them happen to be real rappers as well, but it's your favorite episode with the rapper. We have Wildlife, which is a classic. It is very much in the lead right now, and for good reason. That is Monkey in a Basketball. With what is the rapper's name in that? I wrote it down. It's
the fake rapper.
Got's Money. Yeah, Got's Money.
So that is played by a real rapper.
Yes. Those actually do correspond. Got's Money. We love Got's Money. We have Dis, which we spoke about earlier. That's the one with Snoop Dogg, right? Yeah, Snoop Dogg. We have Broken Rhymes, which is season 18, episode 6.
But Snoop Dogg's playing a fake rapper.
Yeah.
He's playing not Snoop Dogg.
Right. Yeah, no. Snoop Dogg's playing not Snoop Dogg.
Okay, go on.
Fantastic. Broken Rhymes, which...
Oh,
I'll be honest, this is 18, so I remember it very well.
Yeah, so this is an episode that was actually really interesting. If I'm thinking of the right episode, this is an episode that had a trans woman in it, and it was about she was hooking up with this rapper, and so she gets murdered. And then there's like a story where they're like, oh, why did you pay her? And they were like, we paid her for her rhymes, but really they paid her off to like be quiet or something. Before they killed her.
I think that is the one from what I like remember reading the synopsis.
And they like hired an actual like gorgeous trans model. So
yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
And then we of course have Nightmares in Drill City, which is currently absolutely doing wonderful with 0% of the vote. So we'll see how that ends up doing next week once the polls close. We'll tell you where to find that in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Taylor. Wow, we're really good at this teasing thing.
We actually really
are. I'm looking through my announcements to see if there's anything I have to remind everybody. So again, you can buy weird merch that we have made.
Yeah, but are we gonna say what we learned?
Oh, yes, I completely.
What the heck, Yael?
I forget every week.
You really do.
Everybody. Yes, every week on this show, we forget that we have a segment called What Did We Learn? Wait, I have a banner for it. What did we learn? I don't know why I should move it higher up so I see it. And we tell you something we learned from this week's episode. Feel free to join us in the chat with what it is that you learned.
Please. I can go. I mean, I learned what drill music is from Ice-T. Thank you so much. And I also learned that Velasco has a shady little past.
I learned, what was it? Hold on. Let me make sure this is what it was. I learned something and I was like, oh, because I Googled it. Yes. I learned what a trap house is.
You didn't know what a trap house was?
No.
Okay.
You want to judge me?
No,
I Googled it.
Never.
Everyone kept saying trap house, and so I Googled it because I was like, yes, a trap house is a place where people go to buy drugs.
Yes.
Look, some of us don't go and buy drugs. How was I supposed to know?
Let's not speak like I go to trap houses very often. I've never been to a trap house, just to let everyone know. I simply know from watching other film and TV programs.
Fair. I want to get to, there's some comments I want to point out because these are great.
Yes.
Mr. Big Rose reminds us about Ludacris. He was not playing a rapper, so it didn't.
Yeah, that's why that wasn't the poll. But yeah, we love Luda. I watched
his episodes are so good. Every
I saw
time.
Ludacris in a movie last night that I watched called Fred Claus. Don't watch it. It's not good.
You know what's funny? That's a movie I've seen.
Stop. That's terrifying. It's so cursed. But Ludacris plays an elf.
Yes.
Don't watch it. Or do. Like, if you want that kind of energy in your life, like, I would respect that. Yeah. But if you want to see Ludacris in something else, it's on HBO Max. So
nice. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Sarah learned that Rollins gets sad at people, and that this was probably one of the more filler episodes of season 23. Sarah, we're in season 23.
I forget every week. I have to look it up. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Yeah. I would agree. Sad at you is just, it's a line.
I think, look, I'll say this. At the end when if we're going to talk ship, let's talk ship. At the end when he was like, are we still good? I don't think she was like upset with him. He was, I think that they needed to discuss how this impacted them and their feelings about this case. But like, I don't know that this and his behavior would affect their relationship. Do you?
I am
Don't
still
care.
getting the vibe that they're gonna love triangle us with Velasco.
You shut your
do.
mouth.
I'm not trying to manifest it. I'm just saying that's my prediction. So I'm scared a little.
I want to give some shout outs to some of the actors of this episode because they deserve it. It's not their fault.
It's not. It's really not. That's the thing. Like, this episode actually had really good performances. Like, it was just it just didn't mesh together, and it just was not working for me. But yes, the performances were great all around.
So I want to give a shout out to Anthula. Oh man, Customate. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm so sorry. Oh no, that's not even who I'm thinking of. Oops.
Anyway, whoever that is, good job.
Annalise Sapero, who played Jasmine, amazing performance. Allison Thornton, who played Tori, really great as well. I really have to shout out Quincy Giles, I'm so sorry, who played David Graham, our rapper G.
Got 18, baby.
Because, first of all, man was gorgeous. And second of all, he is a repeat offender.
We love to see it.
He was in, and the reason we don't recall is because he's in an episode called Endgame as Lamar Jackson. Those who may recall, Endgame is Peter Stone's last episode, and we just ignore all of Peter Stone's entire arc.
Yeah, I've lost that from my memory for sure.
The
fact that they called it Endgame just really is, Anyway.
Yep. And also, Callie Thorne made an appearance as Nikki Staines again, which was nice.
Yes, I love Callie Thorne and Nikki Staines. Is she the one that had all the citrus on her counter once upon a time?
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember anything except dumb stuff like that. Yeah, she had like 80 oranges in that bowl.
Look, the props team was told to get fruit. They were not told to get a variety of fruit.
There was a lot. I guess she was making orange juice, but I'm going to try to find that screenshot because I definitely tweeted about that like 2 years ago.
Yes, you did.
So much fruit.
All right. So as you may have noticed, at the end of the episode, if you were watching it on TV, the promo is for the 2-hour epic crossover with organized crime, which is happening on December 9th, which means that we will be doing wonderful old episodes. And I have a plan for next week, and I don't want to announce it because it might fall through because it has already fallen through before. So it might fall through. But I just want to tell everybody we will be doing old episodes during weeks that do not have new episodes. So make sure you've subscribed to this channel so you don't miss it, or follow us on Twitter because we tweet it out usually about 10 minutes before we go live. So if you need more time than that, then put it on your calendar. We're Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's the best way to make sure you don't miss us. But until then, let me give some shout outs to everyone who's here in our chat because we have a really full chat today, and I love this. Mr. Big Rose 11, thank you for joining us for the very first time. Sarah, we love having you here. Alice, we love having you here. JNCA, thank you for being here as well. Audrey O, of course, who I said earlier, Team No Beard. So good. Aaliyah's here. So great. Thank you for being here. I saw some other people. Where did it go? Scrolling up. Bobby Shane was here and said, put me on your stream. I like Law and Order too.
All right, Bobby.
That's not how that works, but thank you for being here.
I love the straightforward nature of that.
I appreciate that that's the only thing you have said.
I respect it, Bobby. I do. I respect the I don't want to say audacity.
Audacity sounds accurate.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah. So again, if you're joining us for the first time, we are here every week, new episodes or old. That's what we do here, and we're on social. Taylor, where are you and the poll?
Yes, me and the poll are on Twitter, where I live, at the username alpha_Ann. I'm also on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I also am the site expert for Show Snobs. You can see me covering shows like The Morning Show, which is the season finale this week. Crazy season. 4400 and Big Leap and things like that. I cover lots of things. So you can always find me over on Show Snob as well. Go ahead and hit that follow button for that site too.
I'm also going to do this shout out because we love helping other people. Mr. Big Rose says, "You ladies are beautiful." 4 stars. 4 stars. You're missing a star.
I think that you just got the scale wrong. We appreciate it nonetheless.
I also have an SVU podcast on Spotify called Twisted. Airs every Monday. So check that out. I can promise you all, it is not this. I don't know what
I'm sure it's great.
But it's not this.
Hey, all the SVU podcasts, everyone personally, I think, should have an SVU podcast and be talking about SVU in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I agree. If you would like to talk to me about SVU, you can find me on Twitter because I can tell you this. There's a good chance that whenever you see me tweeting, I am watching SVU. If I'm not, then I have paused to watch something else, and then I'll go back to it. I literally watched it while sleeping on a plane to New York.
As you should. It's the only way I can fall asleep.
Yeah, 5 episodes. Also, if you need that hotline one more time, it is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. Yeah, we say a lot of terrible shit, but if you need help, please reach out for help, and they are available. Felicia couldn't be here. You can find her at It's Felicia Michelle on Instagram because she does not use her Twitter.
But if you want to follow it anyway, it's at It's Felicia on Air.
Yes. Any final thoughts before I end this ridiculous stream?
I just do want to say, because I don't want anyone to get it twisted. Though we found issue with Tori and her character, I just want to make it very clear we were not victim blaming. She was absolutely a victim. That stuff should absolutely not have happened to her.
Yes.
I just want to make that so clear because I know we threw a lot of shade sort of her way. She made some mistakes. However, no one deserves that. We're not trying to blame her, victim blame her. I just want to make that really clear.
You're right. We should definitely, good call. We should touch upon this. Yeah. We are complaining about the story of this episode.
The narrative choices, the perspective choices that went into it.
And the way that it was played out in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want that clear. And also, the actress was phenomenal. Allison did great.
She's amazing. Yeah, I love her. I've loved her ever since Dare Me, which you should all watch as well. But yeah, I just wanted to...
I just have to point out something else she was on that was great.
Please.
She was in Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which is a show no one watched, but was great.
What is it?
Dirk Gently.
Oh, yes. Okay. I've heard of that. Yes.
Okay.
She's great. Yes. I wanted to tack that out at the end so there was no confusion because, we can talk about the episode all we want, but we are always here for survivors, and we would never dream of actually victim blaming someone.
Yes.
Who we are.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Taylor, for keeping us from getting canceled.
Well, yeah, and it's true. I'm not just saying that to be PC or whatever. I genuinely believe that, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. All right. I'm ending the stream. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week for something else. Bye.